The movie opens with Neha being assailed by two kidnappers while she is outside a school. The kidnappers knock her out and she is seen in a hospital. 2 months later, Neha is seen in a religious site called Gurudwara and Baaghi meets her. He talks to her and discloses that he has been observing her and that she is very disappointed and encourages her to believe in God. He suggests to her not to worry as God will have selected to help her. The scene shifts to Captain Ranveer, who is seen fighting the terrorists in Kashmir and is facing an inquiry for killing the 3 terrorists. On being asked the reason for killing the terrorists, Ranveer says the terrorists have tried to burn their country's flag and this is the reason he killed him. He is punished by Colonel Ranjit to complete a 25 kilometers long march. After Ranveer completes his march, he is seen in his camp with his friend, who tells him that his phone has been ringing for a long time. He picks up his phone and then listens to the voicemail of his ex-girlfriend Neha. She apologizes for contacting him after 4 years and requests him to help. Ranveer hardly gets leave for a week from Ranjit and starts his journey toward Goa. On his way, he gets a flashback and we see Neha in college. When her friend dials Ranveer's number to irritate him, Ranveer approaches her. They look at each other and he falls in love with her. The next day, we see Neha talking to her father. Ranveer approaches her saying he loves her and leaves. But her father tells her to avoid him. While Ranveer is playing basketball with his friends, Neha arrives and gives Ranveer her number saying she liked the way he talked to her yesterday. They get closer to each other and Ranveer proposed to her. But Neha doesn't say anything and start talking about her boyfriend and how he left her. She is afraid to lose him too. Ranveer explains how much he loves her and then promises to love her forever. Then we back to the present when Ranveer meets Neha in a restaurant. Ranveer notices Neha's strange behavior and finds her afraid. He says that he is unmarried and in the army now. Neha then reveals that she has a daughter who has gone missing for 2 months. She begs Ranveer to help her to find her daughter and Ranveer decides to help her. He then meets Usman to rent a car from him. After finding out that he is a soldier, he tries to get friendly with Ranveer. He meets Neha again, who informs him that she has asked everyone to help her but no one cares. Neha mentions his promises and he asks if she informed the police. She tells him even the police didn't help her and tried to close her case. They go to the police station and Neha introduces him as a family friend to Inspector Kutai, who will close her case by handing over her case file. Ranveer tries reading the case file but Kute takes it from him and gets rude to Neha. Ranveer gets angry and then hits Kutai and his men inside the police station. She stops him and he ends up being arrested. At night, Neha is asked to back home while the police are tormenting Ranveer. After finding a bullet scar and checking his documents, the inspector finds out that Ranveer is a soldier and he is warning him. The Director General of Police named Shergill arrives at the police station and he orders to set Ranveer free and to bring him to his office. Ranveer tells him a constitution article stating the police can't arrest a soldier. After listening to this, Shergill says that he is a civilian now. As he is off duty, he receives a call from Colonel Ranjit. Ranveer talks to Colonel, who asks him to back to the base in the morning and informs him he was going to rot in jail. But fortunately, Shergill appeared to be his friend. Ranveer accepts the order and is seen going back to his base with Uthman in the morning. But Uthman sees that Ranveer is confused and suggests following his heart. Every time he gets into a fight between his heart and brain, Ranveer asks him to stop the car, remembering the promises he made to Neha. He reaches the school where Riya was admitted and meets the director to investigate Riya's abduction. But he doesn't provide him with any information. Ranveer notices a CCTV camera in a house in front of the school. He tries to ask the owner and the watchman about the kidnapping, but they don't listen to him. Ranveer is seen at Neha's house and she apologizes to him, saying that this all is happening because of her. He asks her to calm down and asks for Riya's picture. But Neha informs him that she doesn't have a picture and Ranveer is shocked at this. She notices her husband's brother Sunny coming to her apartment and asks Ranveer to leave. Ranveer looks at Sunny and instead of leaving, he listens to Neha and Sunny's conversation and then finds out that Sunny is a drug addict. After Sunny leaves, Ranveer comes back and asks Neha for her brother's address and phone number. Ranveer calls Sunny, but he disconnects his call after knowing that Ranveer wants to talk with him about Riya. Ranveer then meets his old friend Suki, who takes him to his marriage and makes him remembers when Neha's father insulted him at a marriage ceremony and she kept watching instead of being on his side. The next day, Neha arrives at his door and says that she wants to marry him. Ranveer gets very excited and they are about to get married. She receives a call. She reaches the hospital to meet her father, who informs her that he has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Neha takes back her decision of marrying Ranveer and disconnects his call. The scene shifts to the present, when a drunken police officer collides with Ranveer and drops his service card. Ranveer hides his card and reaches the house in front of the school. He shows his service card, and after checking the footage of the day when Riya was kidnapped, he discovers that a part of the video is missing. He looks at the footage a day before the abduction and notices Sunny there. Ranveer gives money to the watchman to find the missing footage. A new officer named Loha is appointed at the Goa police station and meets Shergill, who talks to him about cleaning the city from criminals. Loha is a very smart man, and he mentions Shergill's little secret of 10 illegal encounters. Shergill suggests staying with him to be famous and respected even after these illegal acts. Meanwhile, Ranveer finds Usman's involvement with the Russian drug dealers. The Russians surround Ranveer for chasing them, but he overpowers them and reaches Usman's place to ask him about Riya. Usman doesn't give him any information and saves him from the Russians who want to take their revenge. Ranveer publishes an ad about Riya in the newspaper and receives a call from a man who claims to be her father. He meets him in the restaurant and he tells him that Riya is his daughter who has gone missing in Mumbai. Ranveer gets furious at him, but the man shows Ranveer her birth certificate. Ranveer receives a call from Neha's husband Shekhar, who calls him for a meeting. Ranveer meets him. He reveals to Ranveer that Neha is not mentally well, after getting hit on the head during her car robbery. And since then she is talking about Riya, but in fact they haven't a daughter. Ranveer remembers Neha's mental condition in the restaurant and thinks Shekhar is right. He leaves Shekhar's office and the watchman informs him that he found the missing video. Ranveer reaches there and finds Neha alone in the video without Riya. He rushes to Neha and tries to convince her that she has no daughter, and he says everything that her husband has told him. Neha gets confused while trying to convince him that she has a daughter and requests Ranveer to leave her alone because he doesn't believe her like others. On his way to leave, Ranveer notices a scale that was used to measure Riya's height, but it is too late. Neha commits suicide. Ranveer looks at her dead body and he starts crying. After a while, Loha comes to Neha's apartment and investigates Shekhar. But Shekhar says, "Don't waste your time here and find the killer." Before Loha leaves, he notices a camera. He orders his men to provide him with footage when Neha died. He is provided with Neha's call record and finds Ranveer's number in the list. Cute also confirms Ranveer's involvement with her. Loha decides to meet Ranveer and leaves the police station. Meanwhile, Usman comes to see Ranveer. He apologizes to him for not giving him the right information and considers himself responsible for Neha's death. Usman says he watched Riya at Sunny's house when he went for his next deal with him. But Sunny paid for keeping his secret or he would have killed him. Ranveer decides to go to Sunny's house. Sunny's henchmen were here to kill him, but they killed the wrong person. Ranveer takes the lift with them. He receives a call from Loha, who asks him to stay inside his hotel. But Ranveer leaves the hotel after Loha enters. They reach Sunny, who is in a bar. But he catches him and asks about Riya. Sunny escapes and Ranveer hits all his henchmen and starts following him. Ranveer catches Sunny, but the police arrive and arrest them. Then he is seen behind bars and challenges Loha to fight. Loha accepts the challenge and Ranveer overpowers him. But Shergill arrives and stops them. Ranveer asks him to investigate Sunny instead of him, and on being asked about the proofs against Sunny, he says Usman is a witness. Shergill investigates Usman and takes his words for giving it in court. He then decides to investigate Sunny. But when things get out of his hands, he shoots Sunny. Ranveer gets closer to Sunny's dead body and yells at him, because he died without giving any information about Riya. In the next scene, Ranveer is at Shergill's house and explains that he cannot understand his pain. Shergill narrates the sad story about the death of his whole family, including his pregnant wife, on the day of the second anniversary, and asks Ranveer about his relationship with Neha. Ranveer then says his story of how Neha left him for her father and came to meet him for the last time. Shergill receives a call from someone who asks him to check what he is sending. Ranveer begs him to arrest Shikhar, saying he is aware of what happened to Riya. But Shergill replies to him that they cannot arrest him without any evidence. When Ranveer is leaving, Shergill tells him don't make the case complicated for them. The henchmen reach Usman's car showroom and hit him badly. But Ranveer arrives there and fights the henchmen. He overpowers them and goes to Usman, who dies on his arms. And he notices Shergill's messages on the henchman's number and finds that he has been lying all the time. Ranveer investigates one of the henchmen, who gives Ranveer the location of Shergill's farmhouse in the jungle. On his way, Kutai tries to stop him, but Ranveer manages to kill him and draws the attention of other henchmen to him. Ranveer fights and kills all of the men and reaches inside the farmhouse. At the same time, Colonel Ranjit arrives in the jungle and warns Loha not to mess with Ranveer, because he has spent most of his time in the jungle and the war with him inside the jungle is going to end in his favor. Inside the farmhouse, Ranveer finds the man who pretended to be Riya's father and kills him. Shergill appears from behind and shoots Ranveer. He injures him badly and explains to him how he managed to get rid of the police job when he got a chance. After finding Riya under Sunny's custody, he says that he has saved Riya from death while her father and uncle wanted to kill her. He explains the business deal that he made with Shikhar and Sunny and reveals that Shikhar used to hate his wife and wanted to prove her mentally ill, and how he requested all of the people to hide the reality of Riya from Neha after her injury and succeeded in his plan of making her a mental patient. Ranveer listens to him and says that he has selected the wrong girl for this. Then Ranveer starts to fight with him and the gun out from him, but Shergill manages to pick up his gun. Then Loha appears there and shoots Shergill, saying that he has cleaned the city now. Ranveer gets very sad after not finding Riya, but after a while she emerges in front of him and Ranveer starts crying happy tears. Loha investigates Shikhar and finds out that Riya is Ranveer's daughter. Because Shikhar is sterile, he informs Ranveer that Riya is his daughter, and this is the reason why Neha wanted him to find Riya. Ranveer gets up from his bed after knowing this and goes to meet Riya. We then see Ranveer combing Riya's hair while imagining Neha with them.